Hi, and welcome back to Rate That Album, a back and forth album review between myself, Joseph Fremming, and my good friend, Paul Muad'Dib. Paul, you mess with the bull, you got the horns, and you got another thing coming.
Fuck you, Joe!
Paul, you seem a little angry.
Son of a bitch!
You're no longer in Paradise City. I feel like you're going off the rails on a crazy train.
Motherfucker, I'm gonna make your fucking apartment smoke on the water. God.
I am shocked, Paul. I am shocked by this reaction. The album I picked, In a Metal Mood, No More Mr. Nice Guy, by Pat Boone, based on albums you've made me listen to in the past, should be your favorite album of all time, Paul.
God, fuck.
It's got metal.
No, it doesn't.
You like Morbid Angel. Got boring white guy music. Obviously, since you made me listen to Lindsey Buckingham. It's a vanity project by a celebrity like William Shatner. And it's got big band jazz music made by boring white people like Molly Ringwald. How do you not love this album, Paul? It should be a home run for you.
Holy fuck, dude. Oh my God. You know, you bring up valid points, actually. Fuck, I'm dying over here. Yeah, you bring up valid points, now you put it that way. But fuck you, like, it took the worst of everything, and Joe, I swear to God, I have never heard a worse album in my life. I have never heard a worse. I take back every episode we've done prior to this. I will go back and say I recommend every one of those albums, every single one. Just stay away from this one. Can we? Okay, go on, Joe. This was your album. Go ahead.
Well, I picked. Obviously, this was my revenge for your boring white guy music that you've made me listen to for the past year. And an album so bad that fellow Joe Down cohort, Joe Brown, didn't even want to touch this one.
Shit, we should have got him in here for this one. That would have been genius.
I asked, and he said he's busy with work, which I think is a dirty lie. He just didn't want to listen to this album.
No one should listen to this album, to be honest with you.
Why is that, Paul? It has everything you love.
Fuck you. It's fuck you. No. It's I compare, like, I love bad movies. I love awful movies. But there's things about them that are good and bad. Like, you can sit here and say, yeah, but it took the worst of everything that I find enjoyment of and made it the worst thing I've ever heard.
I can't believe what I'm hearing, Paul.
Fuck. Dude, seriously, like, I was in the car today preparing. Okay, first of all, I have a 3-listen rule. And I've broken that with one other album. I listened to this album once, and it took me the week to listen to it again. I listened to it this morning, and I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier after each song. This literally is the worst album I've ever heard, and I've listened to a lot of bad music because I enjoy bad stuff, like, again, bad movies. I can find enjoyment out of it. There's no joy out of this. This is just bad to be bad, and it's bad. This is
like badass, Paul. Because look at Pat Boone on that album cover, that leather vest, that gold chain on his oddly shaved chest.
The album was made in 1997, Joe. No one dressed like that in 1997 outside of certain clubs and bars.
What are you getting at, Paul? What bars and clubs?
What I'm getting at here is that Pat Boone didn't understand anything about Joe. There's no metal on this album.
What are you talking about? It's got cameos by Richie Blackmore and Ronnie James Dio.
I don't believe that. I didn't hear Ronnie. I didn't hear Ronnie on the album. Did you hear Ronnie on the album? I don't believe that at all.
Oh, Paul, you've shooken me to my core about your reaction to this. Again, it's for the last year of the music you've made me listen to. This should be this should be scratching every itch you have.
Oh my God. Dude, name one metal song on this album. One metal song on this album.
Isn't Crazy Train a heavy metal song?
I wouldn't call Crazy Train a heavy metal song.
I would. I would call Paradise City a heavy metal song. I would call Enter Sandman a heavy metal song.
I would not call those heavy. That's not my. I would call them heavy metal. No, that's hard rock. That's hard rock. That's not heavy metal.
In my opinion. Heavy metal. Like, you don't have to sound like you're sucking on glass to be a heavy metal band. So let's.
All right, fine.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we listened to this album. I did a little bit of research on this, Paul.
Oh, goody.
So apparently in the 90s, one of Boone's is like, he's got a big band, jazz band sort of thing, and they made a passing joke that maybe they should do like heavy metal covers. And it really interests Pat Boone to the point like he started buying heavy metal albums just to like entertain the idea. And but because the thing about Pat Boone is after his popularity in the late 50s, early 60s, that were pretty much crushed by the British invasion, like a lot of these post Elvis, pre Beatles art acts,
Mm-hmm.
He really jumped into evangelical right wing Christianity.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he really
And so when this album was bandied about, it was very taboo for a number of reasons. The 80s was a big, you had your podcast where you guys talked about the PMRC.
Yep.
So conservatism in the 80s had a big war against heavy metal. And so the idea of Pat Boone doing a heavy metal album was really strange. In his defense, though, and I'll give him this, he said when he started listening to these albums, it was the lyrics that really intrigued him because he noticed that these were dealing with things that everybody goes through, anxieties, fear, just about, the human condition. And he kind of opened his eyes to like, hey, this genre's not, they're not killing babies and whatever. They actually have things to say. So he took a risk. He took a big risk.
All right.
He released this album, and the risk was it was fairly popular, but he lost his television show on I forget what it was, like one of those Christian networks, due to the backlash.
What?
Yeah. The backlash from the conservative Christian right at Pat Boone over doing a Vanity Project joke album of heavy metal covers cost him financially. He eventually got his show back after, basically like telling people it was a joke. He backpedaled quite a bit after this, but
oh boy!
But the story leading up to it was actually very interesting in that he was like really intrigued. Like, he's talks. I forget the bands he mentioned, but I feel like it was just like the Enter Sandman. These are like in Crazy Train. Yeah, these are anxieties people go through their lives. Like he kind of related to that, which was like, that's kind of cool of him. But then he backtracked on it. But he did threaten to make a follow-up album.
Oh God!
Years after this came out, but that's really all I is willing to look into for the Pat Boone. But so I'll give him credit. He did take a chance. It was Lars Ulrich liked the cover.
Huh?
Enter Sandman, of course.
Fuck Lars.
Yeah.
Fuck
well,
Lars.
you know, like his dad said about saying anger, you should just delete this.
Right.
So yeah, it was the 90s were a weird time, man.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. So yeah, I remember I did the one. It was in 1985, 1986 that the Senate hearings were going on. Mm-hmm. This album was put out in 1997. Every one of these songs that he picked
are from that era.
are even before. Like Smoke on the Water, that's an older song.
Stairway to Heaven. Win Cries Mary, which is like the kind of the weird one.
Right.
It's like, as much as I like Hendrix, and we could debate what's metal or what's not, I would argue Jimi Hendrix is not heavy metal.
Jimi Hendrix is not heavy metal.
But I would say Ozzy Osbourne is, and Guns N' Roses and Dio and Metallica and all that. But
I would argue Guns N' Roses aren't. I'd argue that Guns N' Roses were hard rock.
They were metal. Appetite for Destruction is...
I guess I'm thinking of Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 and Spaghetti Incident, I suppose. Like, they mellow.
If I'm looking at Appetite for Destruction or Black Album, and I mean, this was metal like before it was like it got more and more defined and splintered. I mean, there's so many fucking subgenres of this. Like, I think when we talked about Morbid Angel, it gets obnoxious after a while because everybody has their own definition of metal.
Yes. No, absolutely. No, I do agree.
But like, these are like, if they're not metal, they're the precursors. Like Alice Cooper's a precursor. So, yeah. Deep Purple is hard rock, but precursor. Judas Priest, I would say heavy metal. They really come back to the look. Really set the tone for the black leather. Although a lot of people didn't pick up on Rob Halford was doing.
Exactly, right. That was kind of my thing, is that he just really had no clue. But yeah, I mean, okay, I'll say Judas Priest, but Van Halen to me is not heavy metal.
No, they're like hard rock to me.
Yeah, yeah. And, Hendrix, Led Zeppelin. I mean,
Zeppelin's like a precursor. I would say Dio was heavy metal. Like that Holy Diver album is pretty
good. Yeah, but Nazareth is not heavy metal.
Nazareth, that's hard rock.
Yeah.
AC/DC, I would say, is heavy metal. They have like some, especially that Bon Scott shit. Like those, up until before Back in Black, those were some fucking hard.
Yeah, Back in Black, they mellowed out and became hard rock.
That's when they became like strip club music.
Exactly. Yes.
After Bon Scott died.
Yes.
I am unapologetically a huge fan of the Bon Scott era.
I am too.
I will die on that hill.
Oh, I am too. I am absolutely. I'm in the same boat as you. I really enjoy
especially the song is Long Way to the Top. If you want to rock. Oh no, that's when you sit next to me. It's one of those songs where like. They did it like on European television, and Bon Scott came dressed in drag.
Oh my god!
It's like a Swiss girl with like just grotesque lipstick all over his face.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about good music, Paul. We're here to talk about Pat Boone's heavy metal album.
So
we'll do it. We'll do this track by track.
Oh, fuck.
I really want to stretch this one out for you.
Damn it. Okay. Well, before we get there, though, what I want to get to is these. 1997. I would have thought there had been some mellowing out by the Christian right a little bit on what some of these songs were, because again, all of these are very inoffensive. I mean, very inoffensive.
For the long people, you'll still find Christian right people finding problematic lyrics in Stairway to Heaven, Paul.
Are you fuck?
Yeah, okay. You will see there's still, especially the evangelicals. But
okay, well,
yeah, but the weird thing is when this album came out, it was 10 years past PMRC, but he was still like. So you look at the song "Crazy Train."
Yep.
But on that same album, Crazy Train's on his Suicide Solution.
I was going to say Suicide Solution. Yep.
Which they had the PMRC who thought was promoting suicide when it was actually about Bon Scott drinking himself to death.
No, it was. It wasn't. It was about Ozzy drinking himself to death.
I thought it was. He wrote about it because he was friends with Bon Scott.
Oh, I thought it was about. I thought it was okay, maybe. I thought it was autobiographical, about him being drunk.
From what I read, it was about. And I couldn't be wrong.
No.
Because Bon Scott drank himself to death.
Well, no, I knew that, but Ozzy was doing the same. Okay, so
Ozzy's been doing it for 6 decades now, Paul.
And he still won't die. Go on.
All right. So, Paul, let's dig into this because this is another side I want to say is people, I obviously didn't have as visceral reaction as you did to this because back in the early 2000s, there was an artist that people we knew loved, and I enjoyed it too. Very much in the same vein, just a little more winking of nod, was Richard Cheese.
Richard Cheese, yes.
Who did basically this.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I love Richard Cheese, but Pat Boone, it's the same thing, except the difference is Richard Cheese is in on the joke.
Right. There is some narcissism here. There's some massive narcissism
not reading
and ego.
The room on some of these.
No. There's certain ones here like no one should cover, and the difference between Richard Cheese and this, and I will say that there is a distinction because, yes, friends of ours, I know people that still like Richard Cheese, because he's still doing stuff. And the difference is he was doing it in a comedic way. The problem here is that Pat Boone was taking himself seriously. And I mean, yeah, it was kind of, he went back, so it's a joke album, blah, blah, blah. But was it a joke album? I don't feel that in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he just did it to one is this, the fact he was going to do something like this was going to get attention, and it did sell. I mean, it didn't sell. The number from what I've read, it was his best-selling album in like 30 years. So,
well, what did he do in 30 years besides this?
Just the evangelical, I guess.
Right. Name me a Pat Boone album besides this one.
You only need one album, Paul.
All right.
That's all it takes. You just need the one that's being a hit. People remember. We're still talking about it.
God damn it. I didn't even know this thing existed till you brought it up. Motherfuck. My life was better a week ago. All right.
All right, Paul. So let's do track by track.
Fuck my life. All right.
Because I think we can find some obvious irony in this. So we kicked the album off with a cover of "You've Got Another Thing Coming" by Judas Priest.
Yes,
which also adds to his wardrobe on the cover, which is emulating Rob Halford. What heavy metal fans didn't realize what Rob Halford was doing in the 80s, because the internet did not exist. So unless you're really attuned, Rob Halford was really emulating leather clubs.
Yes.
Leather clubs were, I'm not going to say exclusively, but typically for gay men.
In that time frame.
In the 80s, yeah. Now it's more, I think it's more evergreen for everybody, but back in the 80s, that was kind of. And so he really liked that kind of fashion, and he started wearing it live, and it became the image of heavy metal.
Which is so funny.
So funny because it's like a lot of the fans, especially in the 80s, I think like now metal fans are a little more open-minded about things, tolerant. Yeah. Back in the 80s, it was very meathead.
Very meathead. Very meathead.
Yeah, very homophobic. I mean, people were shocked when Halford came out.
Oh, there was a lot of backlash when he came out.
A lot of backlash. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, people were betrayed, burned their albums. I remember that. Yeah.
But, I mean, I remember watching a thing with Halford, and he's like, well, it was all there. And like, you go back to Judas Priest albums, even in the lyrics.
Yeah, it's all there. Like,
it's all there. It's all there. It's all meant for leather, man. So now we got Pat Boone doing another thing coming. And it's, almost all of the songs on this is big band. Like something like you'd see like in the Mafia glory days of Las Vegas. And it's so confusing listening to this.
Well, so one thing I will say, now a lot of these songs I've heard over the years, right? But like a few of them, I knew all the lyrics to. One thing I will say that some of these songs I couldn't make out some of the lyrics, and I never bothered to look them up, right? And
I was like that with Crazy Train, so because Ozzy has a very drunken mush mouth on that song.
Very, very, very much. And one thing I will say that was interesting. Every one of these songs, again, almost every one of these songs were bashed at that hearing. They're all inoffensive. like I got another thing coming. When you listen to the Judas Priest version, it has a very different feel than when you got Pat Boone singing it. Which, granted, it should have a different feel, but you get the lyrics, and it's like, this is harmless lyrics. Like, really? Like, absolutely. Why?
Or sometimes the lyrics just don't match the music keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emulating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is also hilarious to me, and we'll get to that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
True.
God damn it. One life. I'm gonna live it up. Like, and that's the other thing I want to say was that there was part of me that was like the first time I listened to it, I was laughing to it a little bit because it reminded me of Weird Al. Like, every one of these versions sounds to me like when Weird Al would do his polka mix, except he's taking it serious. But like the way he sings, if you listen like Weird Al on some of those songs where Weird Al singing like this, and that's Pat Boone, the whole goddamn album.
Yeah, it sure is, Paul. It sure is. Yeah. So let's move on to Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, a song I've never even liked.
Okay. So again, another song that I didn't realize.
I believe this has Richie Blackmore actually playing guitar on it.
I want proof. Because if it is, it's the most watered down version. Like, it's not good. It's really not good guitar. Like,
hey, nobody's accused Richie Blackmore of being good.
That's a fair statement. Smoke on Another Water was another song I didn't know all the lyrics to, and so when I'm listening to this, I'm like, oh man, Pat Boone's singing about Frank Zappa and the mother, son of a bitch. No wonder Dweezil said, yes, I'll do this album.
Funny because I'd never picked up that reference.
No.
The Zappa and the mother's reference on the original, because I'd never liked that song. I never liked Smoke on the Water.
Well, no one knows the lyrics except for Smoke on the Water. Like nobody. So, God, the guitar on it is like so weak and tinny, and I gotta think that was Pat Boone going, I can't freak out my audience. Like, we can have guitar, but make it safe.
But he's gonna dress like
a Norwegian
on the cover, like.
You can't use that term anymore. That's not PC.
I guess I didn't know.
So no, you're right. So Smoke on the female backing.
Yes.
Son of a bitch. It's like Debbie Reynolds. One of the things, my gripes with Roger Waters' solo stuff was he did shit like this.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. It seems like once you hit a certain age and your voice isn't as strong as it used to be, that's when you rely on the backup vocalist, like doing a lot of heavy lifting. And Pat Boone does that a lot on this. A lot on this. He relies on Waters did, especially with Amused to Death. That's where
Waters did a lot on Amused to Death and everything after, to be honest with you, really. Yeah.
All right.
Hate the arrangement. Hate it. Okay, go on.
All right. So let's go to It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. Bon Scott era AC/DC track. Again, like I said, I'm unapologetically love Bon Scott era AC/DC. So this was probably like the one song that really pissed me off. Like the others, I'm like, whatever with. But like now you're fucking with like something I really enjoy. So I got pretty mad.
As you should. This whole album should make you mad, Joe.
It doesn't. No. It's no Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh my God, it's worse than Lindsey. Oh, what the fuck? Holy shit, Joe. Okay. Yeah, not how I would have thought a cover of "It's a Long Way to the Top" if you want to rock and roll.
Hey, it's a long way to the top.
If you want to rock and roll. Oh God, damn it.
Yeah. It's like, Mel Torme or something singing.
It is, and like with a twinge of Weird Al, because he does this thing where he thinks like this. It's like, oh my God, stop! Fucking stop!
Yeah. So, yeah, that's egregious. Now we get to Panama, which has like the watered down Eddie Van Halen,
so bad
guitar, which is like why would you? Yeah. So
why would you have it in there?
Yeah, just skip it if you're not going to do it right.
Right.
I think Van Halen was going to play on the album, but the touring problems, he couldn't. I think he dodged a bullet.
I think he dodged a massive bullet with that.
Now, Van Halen isn't my favorite band, but I always give props because they are incredibly talented. Eddie Van Halen, like I'm not a big fan of that technical stuff, but like fuck, the guy can play. This cover kind of peels back, and you kind of see how bad of a lyricist David Lee Roth is.
I did not know the lyrics to this song either. This is another song I didn't know the lyrics to, except for Panama. So I am not a Van Halen fan. Never have been, never will be. I didn't like...
Or Van Hagar or Gary Cherone.
Gary Cherone, just because it pisses every other Van Halen fan off. No, I never got into David Lee Roth Van Halen. I never got into Sammy Vain. Like, I will say that, as you... I recognize Eddie Van Halen as an amazing guitarist. Outside of Eddie Van Halen, there was nothing good about that band, in my opinion. I hated David Lee Roth as a frontman, didn't like those songs. I thought they were super cheesy, even when I was a kid. Like Jump, I was like, what the fuck is this? Even when I was like 8, I'm like, what the fuck is Jump?
Jumping, Paul. God damn it.
God damn it. You know, hot for Teacher. I mean, I saw that on Beavis and Butthead, and I was like, man, Beavis and Butthead, why aren't they roasting this more? But it's because it's got the hot teacher in the music video. Wow. Like, I didn't think I could hate it anymore. Like, I actually had to go back with a lot of these songs because I was so angry at the covers of these songs. I went back and actually listened to the originals, and I was like, I guess it's not that bad. It's like, maybe I like Panama more than I thought.
Oh boy. All right. So moving on from Panama, we're going to No More Mr. Nice Guy by Alice Cooper, a 70s kind of staple. Got new life breathed into it in the 90s from the movie Dazed and Confused.
Mm-hmm.
I never really paid attention to the lyrics, and this is like one of those times I'm glad that his cover made me pay attention, because I really like this, because it's a story song.
It is a story song, yeah.
And I never really paid that much attention, so I like the story song. Like, now I know like the story, so it made me appreciate the original a little bit more, but I still fucking hated it.
So this is one of the songs I did know the lyrics to. My mom is a huge Alice Cooper fan.
Your mom's awesome.
My mom is pretty awesome, not gonna lie. So yes, she's a big Alice Cooper fan. And I actually, side note, I called her today and I was like, Mom, I'm listening to this fucking Pat Boone album. I was thinking of you because, first of all, you know Pat Boone, and he's doing an Alice Cooper cover of us, and so we were having a good laugh at Pat Boone and how much he sucks, both musically and as a human. So I knew the lyrics to No More Mr. Nice Guy. This one this is where the singing like this really goes in the 10th gear.
It's gotta get going, Paul.
It's kind of. I used to rock little old ladies. I couldn't help the blind to see. Oh my god, damn! Fuck. No.
I just felt like I was in a Vegas show from hell. That's what I this just felt like. If there is a hell, it's this album played live in a crappy Vegas showroom.
The other thing that came to my head when I was listening to this song in particular was I'm like, is this Trey Parker and Matt Stone fucking with me? Because it does have kind of that satire, like this is how I would expect like those guys to do a song like this to make fun of it, would be like having Mr. Garrison sing that way to No More Mr. Nice Guy. Like, the fuck is this? This is awful. Yeah. Yeah. But the original is actually a really good song, and I do like Alice Cooper as well.
All right. Moving on. Love Hurts, originally by the Everly Brothers, made popular by Nazareth. This is actually the one song I think works for him.
I was going to say, first of all, guilty pleasure. I love the Nazareth version of Love Hurts.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure. I think it's a great ballad. I expected a little bit more, that jazzy guitar in the beginning. And if they had kept it low key the whole time, I think I would have liked it. But halfway through, the big band starts coming in again. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it starts off like, oh, okay, he can do this one. And it's not bad. Because it starts just basically just
him and a piano.
Which is like, I think if he would have made this whole album a lot more interesting if he just did him and a piano doing covers of this.
I probably wouldn't have hated it as much, honestly.
I probably wouldn't have either. I actually would have probably enjoyed it a little bit.
I honestly, if it was like the beginning of Love Hurts, because again, there is something where I'm like, this could work. And then, like I said, halfway through the big band comes in, I went, motherfucker.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
So, yeah, now you know how I felt with all that Lindsey Buckingham whispering. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Whispering again.
Who brought in the brass band?
All right, but
so I will give you that half of this song works. Half of this song works.
Yep, I agree. Now we get to Enter Sandman, which is so the Metallica. So Black Album, I think, is solid. That's I think all the Metallica albums up till Black Album are fucking top tier.
Yes.
Shit.
Yep. S tier.
Some of them are somewhat flawed. I mean, basically burying Jason Newsted's bass and Justice is just
that sucked.
Fucking terrible. But thanks to technology, people put it back, and so you can listen to that shit on YouTube. And so, and Enter Sandman has like it's a very catchy riff. Yep. And it's got a lot going on. It made Metallica a household name.
Yes, it did.
Enter Pat Boone. Which, as I was listening to this driving today, you know, because they're doing the riff with horns.
Oh, God.
And then when they do the part where the kid does the Lay Me Down Before I Sleep, it's a different prayer. It sounds like it was different. Like they changed it for some reason.
I'm pretty sure that they did, because I'm sure the original was a little sacrilegious to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because like I was like, you know, Lay Me Down Before I Sleep, the Pray the Lord my soul to keep. Like that's different, and he does like a different, like weird evangelical. Like those people are fucking weird.
Fucking weird. They're fucking weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So that part's changed.
The other,
it doesn't help.
That
wasn't the problem with the original Metallica version. In fact, I'd say the original Metallica version really doesn't have that many flaws to it.
I don't think it has many flaws to that song. One of the things with
this, here comes Pat Boone, and he's introducing flaws left and right, man.
So You were listening it today. Did you get the same impression I did with this one where I thought this sounded like he hired a 8-year-old band, like an 8th grade band to come in and do the music for this one? It sounded
it sounds pretty amateur.
Very okay, cool. I'm glad I was knowing when I'm like this.
No, I felt the same way. I felt like he was like a different band than he was using.
That's what I thought, because I'm like, this sounds like an amateur high school band or middle school band. Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe his band was like also kooky evangelicals, and they didn't want to do a risque Metallica song, so he had to find something else to use. No idea.
I would
all I
assume
could find was like one YouTube documentary on this, and then so.
Jesus Christ.
Now, let's go into Holy Diver by Dio. I love this album by Dio. I like Dio a lot.
I like
Dio.
Dio.
Even like his Black Sabbath stuff we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
The Wikipedia alleges that Dio's on this album, which, come on.
I don't think so.
We can both agree he's not on this.
He's not on this song. He's not on this. Dio is not. He's not on this. Dio is not. Whoever put the Wikipedia and put Dio on there, I think thought it was a joke. Like, ha ha ha.
But this album's already enough of a joke, man. But whatever. But Holy Diver, oh God, with the big band, Holy Diver, even out in the midnight sea, yeah. Like what the hell? I kind of felt like I was having a stroke at this point.
I did too, honestly.
Is this like is this what William Burroughs experienced before he wrote Naked Lunch?
And this is another one where the band sounded amateurish to me as well. Where
maybe has some. I've never picked up any risque lyric. Maybe for religious people, I guess there might be something. It doesn't. Holy Diver never really rung. Dio's never rung. Seemed like.
No. I mean,
he kicked ass, but he
kicked ass. He is amazing. Probably one of the best voices in rock.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
He's solid. So,
but
this cover was so fucking strange.
Gotta get away.
Yeah.
Jump on the tiger.
All right, let's move on because this next cover, I had no idea what was going on.
It doesn't sound
anything it's Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. I like Guns N' Roses. I saw them in Fargo last September.
Oh, nice.
Put on Axl's voice is not the same. People are like, "Whoa, what happened to his voice?" Well, the fucker's 60 years old.
He's 60 years old, and he had a massive smoking and drinking problem. Leave the dude alone.
Yeah, the fact he showed up, I was happy. All right, but this does not even. It doesn't ring true to the original. The original's about how gritty LA is. Like a lot of that Appetite for Destruction is. How dirty and disgusting LA was at the time.
Yep.
Paradise City is one of those debauchery songs. Same with Welcome to the Jungle.
Yep.
The Jungle was more of a swipe at LA. This was just kind of,
a passe swipe.
Yep. And he makes it sound like Paul Anka at the Riviera singing Tiny Rainbows or whatever the hell those people sang.
So when this one opens, it opens oddly. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And then towards the end, it does this weird, coda thing. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And then it pops back in the Paradise City. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was of all the questionable choices of arrangements, I would probably say this was probably the most egregious.
Yeah.
This and we'll get to number 11 here after we do the Hendrix song. So next is the Win Cries Mary, which is the real questionable for metal. You're going to make the argument that Hendrix was metal.
Then do Downtown Traffic.
But he has a lot of more harder songs. Purple Haze,
Downtown Traffic.
Yeah,
Do Other Things. The Win Cries Mary is one of his
ballads.
mellow songs.
Yeah, it's one of his ballads.
The NWO theme.
Yeah. So, and it just doesn't work here either. Like, believe it or not, Pat Boone can't do Jimi Hendrix justice.
The wind cries Mary. God damn it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that was not a good one.
Joe, none of these were good, but go on.
All right, so now we're going to the most egregious track on the whole album, Crazy Train, about Ozzy Osbourne's song about mental decline in a world gone crazy. And he adds backup singers going, crazy train, choo choo.
Crazy, crazy train, choo choo. Crazy, crazy train, choo choo. Fuck. This is happening.
That's how it goes.
Crazy. But that's how it goes. Hey, millions of people living as foes. Oh my God, no.
Mental wounds aren't healing.
That's a bit astray. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Choo choo.
Yeah, people, we're not exaggerating.
We're not.
This is how it sounds. Just imagine big band music behind me and Paul singing those lyrics.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
They have a brass band doing the do 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 do.
Right, and if Richie Blackmore, if Dweezil Zappa were really on this album, which again is very questionable to me, then why aren't they doing the goddamn guitar work for this? Like, this is one of those songs where you'd use the guitar. Even if you water it down like you did on Smoke on the Water, at least it's there. But again, the way the band's playing, it sounds amateurish. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, a lot of these songs would have done a lot better, I think, even with a watered-down guitar, because heavy metal is not known for its big band jazz. Just saying. And this was just egregious because it feels like it's totally the opposite of the lyrical content. If somebody like Richard Cheese did it, that's because that's the joke.
That's the joke.
It's
he's making
Richard Cheese does Killing in the Name of.
Yep.
The joke is it's an upbeat song about,
Right, and Richard Cheese advertises himself as a comedy act.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat Boone, we just assume.
No. This is the thing. He was taking himself seriously on this. I really think he was. Like, there's so much ego on this album. Like, I think he really thought that I'll show these guys, I'll do these heavy metal versions, and I'll be the Robin Gibb. Their versions, no one will listen to them again.
Yeah, and like a lot of things, like a lot of the record sales, I guess too, is like people buying this for their friends as jokes.
Well, no shit.
So, Paul, expect this to show up on at your house around Christmas.
Oh, fantastic! Thanks. You know what? Why don't you just get the Paul Anka and make it a fucking set?
But yeah, again, it's like, so like what I said before, like he was listening to these lyrics and they really stood out to him. It's like he heard it and he's like, yeah, these are cool and interesting and but like he still didn't understand what the songs were about.
Tonally he didn't. It tells me he didn't understand what the songs were. Maybe. Well, to be fair, does anyone understand what Panama's about?
Panama Canal. We all know that.
Yeah, we all know that. You'll lose her.
What is this, amateur hour?
So anyways. So, actually, to me, the most egregious one is the next song.
The final song, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Quick question, Paul. Who did it worst? Pat Boone here or Led Zeppelin at Live Aid.
Dude, this makes the Live Aid version look like a masterpiece. And I hate saying that
because it's rushed.
It's so okay. It opens with the flute, but the flutes aren't hitting the right notes at all. It
like
doesn't
Jimmy Page at Live Aid.
right. Maybe that's the version he listened to.
Maybe that he's paying tribute to their Live Aid show.
It should say in parentheses Live Aid version then, because
maybe he just assumed we don't. That's what I was saying. I figured he's paying tribute to the drunken Live Aid version.
Maybe Pat Boone gets it more than we think. So no, so he it sounds nothing like Stairway to Heaven, and I'm going, and then I'm listening. I'm going, the fuck is this? Like, this doesn't make sense.
And here's the thing: Stairway to Heaven, what makes the song is the music.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics are fucking nonsense.
Are nonsense, absolute nonsense.
It's just fucking nonsense. Like, in fact, Stairway to Heaven, the weakest element of that song are the lyrics.
Yeah, 100%.
Robert Plant sells it because he has such a powerful voice that we sell it and we think it's rocking, even though it's about a bunch of bullshit.
100%.
Like a lot of Led Zeppelin songs singing about hobbits and shit. Here we really, because he's going so heavily on the lyrics, the low points of how bad these lyrics are really stick out like a sore thumb.
And this is one that I was actually interested in listening to because I was like thinking it was going to be along the lines of the Love Hurts cover. I'm like, you know, you can do a little piano in this. This could actually be a really interesting cover. This is why, to me, this is the most egregious one because, again, the notes in the beginning make no sense, sound nothing like Stairway to Heaven. And then it's like the doo-doo, 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 and it sounds like a TV sitcom from the 70s before it kicks in. And I'm not exaggerating, audience. It's literally what it sounds like. Like, I'm waiting for the fucking Quincy Jones. Honestly,
I'd rather listen to a Quincy Jones album.
We all would rather listen to a Quincy Jones album. But then it gets into it. Half the song isn't there lyrically, which good because it just makes it shorter. But it's just really, you're right, this really rushed version of it, and it never sounds like the originals. Like the other songs, you can be like, okay, yeah,
you can hear the DNA in it.
You can't hear the DNA in this version.
No,
at least I couldn't.
No, I couldn't either. This was just like, wait, what is going on? It's like I did several spit takes with this one. Like, what?
Yes. When I was listening again today, I was wondering, did I have a stroke the first time I listened to it? And maybe I was just not paying attention. And again, I listened to it today. So again, I broke my 3 listen rules and made it 2 listens. No, this sounds nothing like. That's why to me this is actually the most egregious. Yes, I'm pissed that he did Crazy Train because I love Crazy Train. But at least I could tell it was Crazy Train, except for the crazy train, choo choo. There's nothing like Stairway to Heaven, which for you is probably a good thing since you don't like it anyways. To me, I can appreciate Stairway to Heaven. Again, lyrically, it's nonsense, but
yeah, the music is the driving force of that song.
Nailed it. And when it's not even there in any semblance, what's the point?
Yeah. Paul.
He should have backdoor
I just
man.
saw, we were talking about the backup singers before. One of them is Mary Clayton, who sang with Mick Jagger on Gimme Shelter.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Which is like, you know, you've seen a Scorsese movie, that's usually when the movie's about to kick into drive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She was on Gimme Shelter.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
So I'm just shaking your faith in rock and roll, I think. Yeah, so the Stairway to Heaven just ends this album just like a lead balloon just plops down and ends.
It is a literal Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, it's a literal Led Zeppelin. All right, so Paul. You gonna think twice about fucking with me again, or?
Oh, damn it, Joe.
Paul, would you recommend In a Metal Mood, No More Mr. Nice Guy, the 1997 classic by Pat Boone?
I'm going to go on a little bit of a tirade here for a second before I give you my answer. Since we got through all the songs, Joe, like literally, and audience, literally, this is the worst album I've ever heard. I've listened to a lot of bad music. I've seen a lot of bad movies. I've done podcasts on music and movies now for quite a while. This is the worst thing I've ever done. This makes anything done by Neil Breen a genius. This makes Shorty Shitstain, Dorothy B's failed protege's music seem like fucking Mozart. This is, and not exaggerating, the most painful review podcast I've ever done in terms of putting myself through it. Not even for, like, I normally would recommend this for comedy value. Like, this is something you need to experience. Nobody, Joe, needs to experience this ever. We never should have experienced this. Like, we are lesser human beings having put ourselves through this. We are all dumber for our fucking experience, Joe. So, no, I would not recommend it.
Well, I mean, we all know you're just hamming it up for the audience because I know you loved it, but I too probably wouldn't recommend this. It just it's just not a very good album. Just questionable cover arrangements. His vocals really don't move beyond just his one note kind of vibe. So. No, I don't think I would recommend this.
Pat Boone had no business making an album in 1997. The guy started his career in 1958. I think that's when his first album came out. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned some things like, hey, he was understanding a little bit of the lyrics, but let's make no qualms about Pat Boone as a human being. Not the greatest dude in the world. I'm not sure if you're familiar with all of Pat Boone's exploits over the years. I did a little bit of digging myself into him once you told me he was really into the religious right and being an evangelical. He compared. He said that he basically compared American political liberalism to black filthy cells. He referred to in a race to a particular district who was a Mexican with the song Speedy Gonzales. He opposed a bill which prohibits a person from being subjected to discrimination, because he was worried that that schools might not hire Christian-only staff, that they would stop teaching religious ideas, that they would, all these things. He also went along and said that there was another candidate that would support every homosexual cause. Therefore, he literally said, now do you want a governor who would like Kentucky to be another San Francisco? He was with Mike Huckabee and involved in God's Not Dead 2. He has not been a very good human being. He received the CPAC's Lifetime Achievement Award in February of 2011. This guy's been very problematic. And he hawks gold. He hawks like on that gold thing. So you have that.
Yeah, he's not a good person nor a good Christian.
No.
Which is yeah. Maybe I shouldn't judge people. I don't follow that. Sorry to our evangelical listeners, but do complete do continue supporting our sponsor, Bar Gold. The gold standard will come back, I guarantee it. So keep investing, and they'll keep investing in the pod down. So,
yeah, sorry, sponsors.
Don't forget about our Liberty Coins that supports us. Liberty Coins are silver dollars with Ronald Reagan's face on it. Not yet endorsed by the U.S. Mint, but we're getting there.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Yep, we're working on it.
So, not to upset the apple cart with our sponsors, Paul, but I had to do that little plug for Bar Gold and Liberty Dollars.
No, that's fair. And one last thing is that Pat Boone played for a senior Olympic team known as the Virginia Creepers. All right.
Oh, was Roy Moore on that?
I know, but Gary Glitter was.
Oh.
All right, Joe, this honestly was the most painful album. Like, I'm not even.
I had a lot of fun with this review, Paul.
Oh my god, dude, this was the worst. This is the worst of the worst. Like, it's gonna be a while before we hear an album as bad as this. This made Amanda Lear look like, again, I should recommend the album after this. Like, I'm retroing everything I've ever done after listening to this album, saying it's not that bad. It's not like, this is my new bar. This is my new bar. This is
Paul's standard, much like the gold standard. Our sponsors, Bar Gold. Bar Gold, the gold standard will come back.
So, Joe, let's do plugs. What do you got going on at the Joe Down?
We're on a hiatus for the time being. We got some work is getting down with both of us, so we haven't had time to get our next review out. So we're on a brief hiatus for the time being.
Fair enough.
No, it's not on a hiatus. Bar Gold. The gold standard's coming back, Paul.
Fuck Bitcoin. You need gold.
Yeah, don't fall for that NFT stuff. Send your hard-earned dollars to Bar Gold. Your investment in gold.
Joe, I'm working on an NFT sponsor.
Bar Gold has officially told us we cannot sponsor NFT. They'll pull off funding. So in no way do we support NFTs. No way.
Only support gold. Yeah, Joe, I'm glad you enjoyed the review. I'm glad you did. Honestly, I thought I was going to get more enjoyment, more laughs out of this album. Wow. Like, I have not been made this angry by music in a long time. Yeah.
Really?
No.
What bothered you? I mean, again, this scratched every itch you've ever thrown at me, Paul.
I think that's the problem. Is like, I can stand the little things, like a little
doses. Did you overdose on boring white guy music with this, Paul?
Oh, I think I do. Well, you wanted to cure me on my boring white guy music. There you go. I guess I'm crossing Depeche Mode off my list.
What about Echo and the Bunnymen?
How about some Toad the Red Sprocket for your ass?
The Toadies?
No. We can't. We'll get canceled. All right.
Paul, what are we reviewing next?
Okay. So,
remember, I got that Paul Anka right in my back pocket.
I know you do.
Tread carefully.
No. I've decided that after this album, I'm going to.
What do you mean after this album? Explain. What?
This album.
You keep saying it's bad, and you went into great detail on why it's bad, but I still don't know why. Can you explain your explanations?
Do you want me to put it in essay form for you, sir? Because I can write a thesis on why this is the worst album ever made.
Paul's he's enrolling in college. He's going to do a music major so he can write a thesis on this album.
Why it fucking sucks. And why I know now that God does not exist.
Don't tell Kevin Sorbo, spokesman for Gold. Bar Gold. Kevin Sorbo endorses it.
Watch the Hercules, the legendary stories reboot on Pure Flix coming out in 2023. So
I don't think Sam Raimi will ever let him do that, Paul.
But Ted needs a job. So
Ted is in every Sam Raimi movie. Come on now.
That's true. He is.
Plus, he was in Twin Peaks.
He was in Twin Peaks as a fucking punk rocker. Joe, for the next couple reviews I'm going to do, I'm going to start.
Wait, are you doing a theme?
I am. I'm going to do a theme for a little while because this one broke me.
I was like Bane and you were the Batman.
You broke me, dude. Like, I need to go sit in the Batcave for a while and recover.
Let's rate that album's in ashes. Then you have my permission to die.
So I'm going to focus on some bands and some music that I actually really enjoy, like that I think maybe you're into or maybe you haven't heard, like things that I actually really think that you would like, realistically. And we're going to start with a band called Churches. Are you familiar with Churches at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Churches, yeah. I'm not familiar with their music, but I know who they are.
Okay.
I think they kind of came out or got more popular right toward the end of my time at Electric Fetus in 2010.
Okay. So, yes, because their real breakthrough was like 2012.
Okay.
So, yep. So we're going to do Churches. We're going to do their latest album called Screen Violence. Came out in 2021. I will tell you right now, there is a song on this album that is my 3-year-old daughter's favorite song right now. Whenever I pick her up from daycare, I have to put it on so she can sing to it.
That's cool.
It is really cool, honestly. So, and there is a guest appearance from one Robert Smith on this album.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm excited for you to hear this one. If you haven't heard it, I know your love of female pop artists' voice. So I truly believe that this is an album you're going to enjoy.
I'm excited. What's the album called again?
It's called Screen Violence.
All right. All right. I got that down, Paul.
All right.
Yeah. Better not be some boring one. Paul ain't gonna leave. He's waiting in the chair.
Suicide's fine, but whiskey's quicker. Suicide is slow with liquor.
That's a class. Blizzard of Oz is a really good album.
Spoiler alert, that's going to come up during this set. So we will be reviewing that sooner than later, honestly. So
Blizzard of Oz?
Blizzard of Oz, yes. We will be reviewing that sooner than later. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have a bad word to say about that album, Paul. That's going to be one boring review.
I think there's things, honestly, that I think people, the reason why I want to do it is I don't think there's a lot of people out there that have actually dived into the album. Like they know the hits off of it, but there's some really good deep cuts in that I think people should know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Plus it has the Randy Rhoads acoustic.
D.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good.
Is a damn shame because I would have loved to have heard a classical guitar album by him.
Yeah.
In an alternate universe, hopefully that exists.
I'm sure it exists because he was, I mean, you can listen to it and you can tell there's a lot of, he's classically trained and is a lover of classical.
He's one of the guitarists that kind of introduced that to the genre too.
100%. And what's really interesting is that even Ozzy had said that he was asked one time, like in an interview, like, do you think that you and Randy would still be together? And he said, no, I think Randy had different ways that he wanted to go in music than where I was going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yes, we are going to do the church's fourth album, Screen Violence.
All right. Let me see if I got that on my
On your Amazon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know they spell it.
They spell it C-H,
with a V
yes.
instead of a yeah.
Yep, it's
kind of like with corn with the K and the backward K.
Kind of like that, but it's C-H.
Just like corn. This band is just like corn.
Yes, it is exactly.
We got it.
It's actually.
This is like the female-led version of corn.
100%, it's the female-led version of corn.
I just wonder why.
Damn, matter of fact, I did a song called Adidas Part 2, Joe.
Life is peachy, Paul.
Follow the leader, Joe. So that's what we're doing. Joe, do you want to take us out?
No.
Well, that's how it goes.